there everyone, thanks again for tuning into Sin's Workshop. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be talking about A Vow So Bold and Deadly, the third and final novel in the Cursebreakers trilogy. If you remember my review of Book 2, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, you know that I had a lot of issues with that book. Book 1 followed Wren and Harper. Book 2 followed Liamara and Gray. This third book follows all four characters. So it's a multiple POV novel. A lot of the issues I had with Book 2, most of them seem to be rectified here. If you remember, one of my biggest issues was that Harper's fire seemed to be snuffed out. I mean, Harper, she's from DC, she has cerebral palsy, and she is a princess, and she is a fierce fighter, you know? And then you have the beginning of Book 2, it's like all of her fire has been snuffed out, and she's just like this docile thing, and she was unrecognizable to me. And I really took a lot of issue with that. And then I followed Liamara. Liamara is not one of my favorite characters. I find her to be incredibly boring, somewhat pretentious, and somewhat self-righteous. I don't really like her. I know a lot of people do. I'm not one of them. And I know a lot of people love Gray too, and given the events of Book 2, I'm not really a fan of Gray either. That's not to condone any of Wren's behavior. He made a lot of stupid, cruel decisions in the second book. And when you see why, I mean, he is suffering from PTSD with the return of Lilith. I mean, he's fucking terrified. So you get it. Does it condone what he does? No, absolutely not. But he is scared out of his mind. And the fact that Gray just kind of, in a sense, abandoned him instead of just coming home and being honest with him. Even when Wren gave him that option to be honest, he chose to continuously keep secrets and lie. And it's just like, that was the worst decision that you could have made. However, it seems that the characters have learned in this book to not keep secrets from one another. Harper has her fire back, and all the characters are, for the most part, it does take some development sometimes, they are being honest with one another. And that's what's really important to me, the character growth. I do love the character growth. Are Liamara and Gray one of my favorite couples? No. I'm all here for Wren and Harper. I love Wren and Harper. I think they are the stronger couple for me personally. I love that Harper has her fire back. You know, she does fight with Wren. She does push him in a good way. And it really does lead to a lot of strengthening of their relationship. As far as the story goes, it was really well done. I did like it way more than Book 2. If you remember Book 2, it was so boring to me. It was so tediously boring. It was just, Book 1 was so good, and then Book 2 was such a letdown. So I'm really happy that Book 3 really had a lot of that fire back and had a lot of that energy back. It's like Book 2 was restarting again with two different characters, which I understand, okay, it's fine. But you can write, and I've read, series where they develop different characters and follow different characters, but they don't feel like, another beginning. Here, we're finally seeing everything come ahead. That pacing right from the beginning is very, very fast. It's very, very engaging. And then you have that climax in the middle. Oh my God. From there, you're invested. You are invested in everything that's going to happen, everything that's going to follow. You are engaged. I could not put this book down, that last half of the book. It was just going so fast, so fast, so fast. And I just Lilith is a terrible person, but she makes for a very good villain. And that's the point. You're not supposed to like her. But I did like that she was such a good villain, I will say, in Liamara's defense, I like her ideals. I think she is very idealistic. She's always hunting for peace. She doesn't want to be her mother. She doesn't want to rule ruthlessly. But I think her personality is just lacking. I appreciate that she's not a copycat of Harper. I appreciate that they are both strong in different ways. And they both want peace. Everyone wants peace. But, Liamara is just, she's different. She's not weak, I think she's just too idealistic. And for someone in her situation, I think she needs to be a little bit more pragmatic. She can be optimistic. She can hope for the best, but I think a little realism would benefit her. I think she thinks everything's going to be smooth, and I admire her ideals again, but I wanted more from her. I really did. I wanted a little bit more development from her and Gray. My only hindrance with this story is that ending. Nothing's really solved, I guess. All the characters have made peace with one another. They defeated Lilith in this really awesome scene. But as far as the fate of the kingdom, as far as the fate of the characters, you really don't have any closure. To me, that left me feeling really unfilled. I felt very unfulfilled when I read this ending. I was just like, okay, so what now? That's it? That's how this is going to end? I will say, thank God there is this new series that takes place, I think a century later. So maybe that'll maybe that will give me some answers to a lot of my questions. But had I not known, and had I not known there was a sequel series, I think I would be feeling very, very, and I do feel unfulfilled. I do feel underwhelmed, because it's just like, that's it? That's how you're going to end the story? Like, I need answers, What's going to happen? Are Harper and Wren going to go to DC? Are they all going to return to DC? How are they going to split up this kingdom? Is Wren just going to abdicate the throne? What is happening? What's going to happen? Like, I need answers. I need some closure. And I didn't get that closure, which was very, very unfortunate. So because of that, and because I really can't stand Liamara, I'm sorry, I have to give this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. I just could not. It was well written, and I want to give it 4 stars, but I just can't because of that ending. It left me feeling very underwhelmed and very unfulfilled. And the fact that there is a sequel series out there, I shouldn't have to rely on that in order to have some of my questions answered. So it gets 3.5 out of 5 stars. Sorry. If you want to go ahead and purchase the book, I will include links in the description below on where to purchase. And on that note, thank you all once again for tuning in to Sin's Workshop. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please do not forget to like this podcast, share it with all your book-loving friends, and subscribe. You can also become a supporter on any of my other social media platforms, or by making a small donation to my Buy Me Coffee, Ko-fi, Patreon, or by purchasing one of my handmade candles. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.